Hey everybody, Josh here. It's in World Alternative Media here, and there are more artificial tensions growing with Iran that we're witnessing across the media, all over the headlines. A lot of BS, bogus stories about Iran trying to threaten the United States, as per usual. Not like, the U.S. Staged coups against them going back 70 years and overthrew leaders and caused false flag attacks against them and killed their generals and all that kind of stuff while surrounding their country with a giant army base. But that's beside the point, because Iran is really bad and we must do whatever we can to stop them, just like that bad old Iraq, which we definitely liberated and made better. Let's go into this story out of Zero Hedge. As it says, Iran puts air defenses on high alert following unexplained blasts. And of course, I did many videos on these blasts that we've been seeing around Iran on YouTube as of lately, where we've heard all this talk about mysterious explosions at weapon depots and on ships. And I mean, we got this article here: blast hits power plant in central Iran Sunday as mainstream media admits it's likely Israel. So we're going to go into that and more today, but first make sure to hit that like button and check those links below. Share this on social media. Join us at float.app as well as BitChute, Minds, and Library, all linked below, as well as join our new newsletter at www.iamband.com. We will not be on YouTube much longer. We are leaving by November 5th, only posting trailers to our whole videos on YouTube after that point, if we're even still on here, if you're watching this on YouTube. Also, make sure to check the links for ways to fund us, as we are completely viewer funded, completely demonetized, because we, well, speak the truth. Anyway, getting into the story, as I mentioned out of Zero Hedge, blast hits power plant in central Iran Sunday as mainstream media admits it's likely Israel. And as the article goes into, yet another strange and unexplained explosion has rocked central Iran on Sunday, reports state-owned Islamic Republic News Agency, IRNA, citing no injuries during the large explosion. It occurred at a power station in the city of Islamabad, which is in the central province of Isfahan. At this point, the spate of mystery blasts and fires, which has damaged the military, nuclear, and industrial sites across Iran, especially in and around Tehran, is approaching a dozen in only the past month. As it continues here, it says, like with many of the prior incidences, many of which were deadly, Iranian officials downplayed that it was potentially Israeli or U.S.-backed sabotage on its facilities, saying it was likely caused by the erosion of a transformer. Likely story. As it continues, it says, separately on Sunday, cellophane factory in northwest Iran erupted in fire. Video and images showed a huge cloud of smoke billowing from the site through the day, and firefighters struggled to put it out. You see this tweet here. It says, wow, the fires won't stop. A major fire erupted today at a paint factory in Tabriz, northwestern Iran, where a majority of the people are Azerbaijani. And now Azerbaijani people are usually very peaceful, and it's one of the most peaceful and rich oil countries in the Middle East, for those that don't know. As it continues, it says, Iran Civil Defense Organization chief Ghulam Reza Jalali was cited in state media as saying Iran is not ruling out sabotage on the power plant, either by internal opposition groups or externally supported entities. To review all of this comes after earlier this month, an advanced centrifuge assembly plant at Iran's Natanz nuclear site was destroyed in a mysterious fire, which is increasingly being blamed on Israeli or U.S. intelligence. As it says here, a former official suggested the blaze could have been an attempt to sabotage work at the plant, which has been involved in activities that breach an international nuclear deal. On 26 June, an explosion occurred east of Tehran near the Parshin military and weapons development base that the authorities said was caused by a leaking gas storage facility in an area outside the base. Other recent incidents reported by Iranian news agencies include a fire at industrial complex where gas condensate storage tanks are cited, one at the petrochemical factory, and explosion in Tehran, the capital, which killed 2 people. And we're hearing a lot of stuff about how this could just be Israel. There's a sabotage campaign. When I hear Israel, I think U.S., I think the global order. I think all of the major countries that are all part of the global military industrial complex. And of course, there have been a lot more stories as of recently on this subject as well, including this one. 7 ships on fire at southern Iran port in another mystery disaster. Amazing how these are all so mysterious. They just keep happening. We, of course, heard of the fire on a battleship as well in the U.S. in San Diego recently that hit a lot of headlines. But nonetheless, as I reported on before, I believe 100% that at this point, that this is just a sabotage campaign, destroy a bunch of bases, and then try and enforce or try to run into a new war scenario with Iran, which the U.S. has been working on for a long time, unsuccessfully, of course. And it's really interesting because we have heard Iran usually blame the U.S. for this kind of stuff. They've been backing away a lot lately. It's almost like they see a trap that they're walking into, and they don't want to walk into a trap. This does not make Iran good by any means. Of course, the Iranian government's not good. No government is good. Government is organized crime. But look, what I notice here is that there's a clear pattern moving towards a monetary system savior like a war. And when I say that, I mean it. When we are dealing with wars are propped up at the end of monetary cycles. When a monetary system collapses, which the U.S. and the global monetary system is indeed collapsing, after it gets stronger from deflation, from all the money going into the stock market to save it, it's all going to end in people's hands, and you're going to see massive inflation. This is going to be a massive tragedy that will wipe out so many people's livelihoods, and it's absolutely terrorism what we're witnessing. Now, at the end of these cycles, the U.S. always goes into a war-like scenario. They need the monetary system to be saved by a war. The war saves the monetary system, and vice versa. They can go into deficit spending. They can print insane amounts of currency. They can get people compliant. With the way that everyone has been compliant lately, they could get everyone into a draft, honestly. I mean, I can honestly see that on the near horizon. People have become weak and stupid, dependent, and willing to do anything to be comfortable in their slumber, even if it means die. And that is what concerns me the most. We don't need another Iraq. Remember, at the end of the day, no matter what propaganda is thrown in your face, we all remember that the U.S. government killed millions of people in Iraq, and a good percentage, a huge chunk of those were children. Under the age of 18, we saw a massive death count with a very small percentage actual terrorists, which the U.S. armed and funded in the first place. Keep in mind, the U.S. propped up Hitler against the communists. They allied with the USSR against Hitler. They propped up the Mujahideen, later Al-Qaeda, against the USSR. They've done this time and time again. They propped up Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam and then ended up going to war with them after staging a false flag attack that's been completely declassified. I mean, this is all based on a lie, and we need to recognize it before we fall into another trap. And it seems like I'm talking to a brick wall at this point. I know you guys are listening, and I know you guys care, but we have been going over this for years, and it seems to only be getting worse, and it almost seems as though we're going to have to walk right into this scenario, and things are going to get a lot worse before any of it's going to get better. We see this article out of BBC News. Iran executes man convicted of spying for U.S. and Israel. So more tensions there. At the same time as we hear more about that plane crash from earlier in January, Fox News, as it says, France says voice data from Ukrainian jet shot down by Iran has been recovered. Iran has sent the black box from the Ukrainian passenger jet to France. Well, how convenient is that, my friends? At the last moment, they're going to say, oh, Iran meant to shoot down this plane on purpose. They were trying to start a war, because that definitely benefits them. They love shooting themselves in the foot and committing virtual suicide for their empire, which the whole basis of the empire is to uphold the empire as long as humanly possible. We see a lot of economic concerns in Iran right now, a lot of issues with COVID, as well as they shut down the economy again in many areas of Iran. We have to remember things in the past that we've already been lied to about. Remember Syria? Remember the chemical gas attack that happened 2 years in a row on the exact dates that was blamed on Assad? Right as the U.S. is about to ally with Assad, he decided for no reason to shoot himself in the foot and gas children, and then to get a bunch of video of it and have the media explore it in depth, every angle, and share it with the Western world so the U.S. would go to war with them. Well, of course, we know now that that was a complete lie, completely fabricated, as we said at the time, and recent papers have actually came out showing that Syria that was completely targeted by the United States government. The government lied about everything regarding Syria and the chemical attack with no evidence of the Syrian government chemical attacking their own people, and then released it as fact into the media, which the media was complacent in, and then, of course, next thing we know, we have this push for war with Syria. We saw right through that, but they lied about it. We barely saw any blurb about that in the media. We saw weeks of the mainstream media saying that we have to go to war with Syria because of these unconfirmed documents that the Pentagon was releasing, and then we hear one blip on the media when it comes out that there was a complete lie, and they admitted it was a lie. Same with the Afghanistan papers that admitted the entire Afghanistan war was a lie, and there we are. They're pulling out a little bit, but they're still there, and they're still terrorizing people and selling drugs worldwide from the poppy fields. So again, this is all a racket. It's all based on a lie. It's all meant to make you weaker. It's all made to make you more subservient. And has it worked? I would say for the most part, yes. Have people learned? Yes. But are people becoming more subservient? Yes, as well. It's one thing to be awake, it's another thing to do something. So I would urge everyone to do something, and you know, when they're speaking, take off the mask and speak loudly. Anyway, I really appreciate everyone watching today. We will get into this more as it elapses. Of course, it will, because the terrorist racket that we call government knows no bounds, and will keep pushing and pushing and pushing until they destroy themselves, and hopefully we'll have some part in doing that as well. Anyway, make sure to hit that like button, share on social media to get around the shadow banning. As I said, join us on Float.app, BitChute, Minds, and Library. We don't have a lot of people on Library yet, so make sure to join us on Library, but especially on Float.app, flote.app, as well as join our newsletter at www.iambanned.com. We are basically banned. We are basically going to be gone from YouTube. No matter what, by November 5th. So make sure to join us on these other platforms. And we need all the funding we could get. Any pledges, GoFundMe, Patreon, Subscribestar, it means a lot to us, of course. You can find those links below, because we are completely viewer funded. So anyway, I appreciate everyone watching this video today. And until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change. My friends, it is go time. We are completely demonetized on YouTube, and we depend on the viewer to stay alive and spread the message of freedom and truth. So check those links below. GoFundMe, Patreon, Subscribestar, anything you guys could do to help keep independent media alive helps enormously in helping spread this message to the masses. So make sure to check those links. Donate to our Bitcoin address on the screen or below. We really appreciate anything you could do to keep us alive. You could check those links below for Cointree as well, where you can find other cryptocurrencies that you can donate and keep WAM alive. Find us on Float.app, flote.app, as well as BitChute and Library and Minds. We're on all the other platforms. We are leaving YouTube soon, so make sure to find us at those sites, because it's the only way we can keep talking to you, the masses, the great people that actually care about the future of free humanity. Also, join our new newsletter at www.iambanned.com. Anything helps at this point, guys. We need to support free information online. This is the most difficult time in our history, and it takes a lot of hard work to keep our message alive in the face of great evils that have taken over the propaganda news on television as well as on YouTube, where YouTube decides what you can or cannot see. We need your help, my friends. So I really appreciate anything you guys can do. Check those links. There's many ways you can help. Until next time, though, thanks, everyone. This is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.
I'm sure you have already changed people's minds in your young age because you're involved, and I like that.